Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Navi back again. News, views on the news, documenting the just trifling mess that the so-called black community has become. All right, and we're showing why the black so-called black community has become such a mess. One, they think they're black, a color. Right now, for those of us that's trying to develop the Afro community, the indigenous, get us back to our right mind, we seem to be the only ones that try to call this stuff out before it happens. Look to, let's say, um, people that have a more gentler mind to just side with us, but that isn't what happened. All right. So before I get started, let me greet everybody. Howard and Hardu Gudag, Ola Oi to the Bang, Fases Los, Bonjour, Ms. Mi, Keda Bawani, Konnichiwa, Ni Hao, Ni Hama, Sani Bonani, Jumbo Habarigani, Assalamu Alaikum, and Shalom. Now, let me just say this, just right off the top. This goes out to any other indigenous communities in Africa, Brazil, wherever. All right. This is how your community will fail when the men are not able to do the roles of a man, when the women step outside her lane and think that she can do the role of a man. Then you have a problem. Remember, we are not equal. We weren't created equal, men and women. Women were created to be women, men were created to be men. All right. Each role is just as important and significant. All right. Where you lose out is when the women start to think they could be men, and obviously the men take it as a loss when you try to compare them to the woman, because we're not that well, not let's not say ignorant, wicked. All right. And what I mean by that is when you have men that step out of their role as men, men check them. When you have women that step out of their role as women, men are supposed to check them, but they've turned into simps. Why? Because the older women don't check them. As a matter of fact, the older women are the cause of this. But worse yet, the children suffer. Why do they suffer? Because black women and simps just don't care. They want you to always talk about, they don't want anybody to call out the BS. Not really, unless you do it in an entertaining way where they can come back and say, oh, he just H8. He just H8. But if you have love and you calling this stuff out, not only do they say that that isn't why you're doing it, but see, they worry about you. They try to take your channel down. They try to stifle it. All right? They try to be against you. They try to be everything but an honest individual that's looking at what's going on with the truth. This is the sad truth. This story right here. This story right here is a sad truth. And we're going to show you how sad it is as you watch the news clip. But I want to first shout out Kid Jackson. All right. He sent me this on Facebook. He sent the actual story. All right. So, and I appreciate when brothers do that. They don't send me links to other YouTube channels. They send me the actual story. I could do something with that. All right. All I can do is see what somebody else is saying about the same thing that I said years ago. All right. A lot of people that sending me stuff are not realizing that my channel was up way before those other channels, and they're piggybacking off of stuff I said years ago. Now, let me remind you, let's get those thumbs up. To donate, you see my PayPal me link. It'll be in the description box. Like, share, subscribe. Please share the videos. When you subscribe, click the bell. And when you click the bell, click all. All right? So let's break this. This is going to be sad, but pay attention.
Avery Cotton is combing through nearly 100 pages that show when Jordan was home with his birth family, he suffered greatly.
Good morning. You know, it's one of those stories that just keeps getting worse every time you hear it. Just hits you right in the pit of your stomach every time. So these documents talk about things no child should ever go through. And what's worse, Jordan's mother never seemed to recognize that her actions were dangerous, even life-threatening to her baby.
Her mother realized it. And that's one of the things I'm going to say about these Caucasian people. Her mother know that everything that she was doing, fighting, well, all the stuff you're about to hear. Her mother knows it's dangerous. She just don't care. That's what they should have said. Her mother just didn't care that her actions were dangerous to the child. Not that she didn't know. Look at all the stuff that they're doing. The mother knows. And guess what? These black women who's trying to come and shut down channels, they know too. They know this wickedness is like this. It makes them look bad, and it should, because they're not standing up to it. Nope, as a matter of fact, they're too worried about Black Girls Rock and unifying and wanting us to speak positive things to black women that really don't care about us or the community. And by us, I mean the good Afro men that's trying to keep things together, that actually care about children and want to raise children. No, they don't care about us. They rather have them with the thugs that don't want to have anything to do with the child. How do you know? Well, here, listen to the rest of this.
Paperwork documenting the sad, short life that 2-year-old Jordan Beliveau was born into. His father, a known gang member. His mom, seemingly oblivious to the life she was exposing her son to.
And she's not oblivious. She knows exactly what she's doing. She just don't care.
Within a few months of Jordan's life, child investigators were already inside their home, which is often filled with drugs and gang members. In 2017, investigators wrote, "The home is never clean. The father sells cocaine and marijuana from the home. The mother and father use marijuana and cocaine all of the time while inside the home. On top of the drugs, violence that no child should ever bear witness to. A 10-month-old child, Jordan Beliveau Jr., was hit in the face during a fight. The notes even reveal mom Cherie Stinson would fight while holding Jordan in her arms.
Oh Lord have mercy. How many Facebook videos do we see black women fighting with the child in their arms? There was a video that I had in the old, there was a clip that I had in the old video where the black woman actually drops the baby to the ground to go fight another black woman. The baby's in her arm. She drops the baby, just opens up her arm and drops the baby to go attack another woman. Y'all seen, some of y'all remember that video. How many times have we seen this? This is why we know they don't care.
In public places like Burger King. The mother has lost custody of her children in the past due to fighting. Jordan was placed into foster care for a 1.5 years with a family who grew to love him. Pictures show what could have been, what should have been. Instead, Friday, August 31st, a judge released Jordan back to his mother, who was arrested for his murder just 4 days after he was back in her care.
Welcome to the family court system. And you know why she gets to always get the child no matter how violent she is? Child support. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, child support. Child support is the way to keep Afro men prisoners as slaves. Why? Because so long as you owe child support, you'll always have to work. So long as you owe child support, they can do to you things that are unconstitutional in any other kind of court system, like criminal court and stuff. In regular life, they can do things to you through the family court system, through child support, if you miss payments that they couldn't do to you if you missed a payment on your house, if you missed a student loan, if you missed anything. They could take your license. They could take your life. And I don't mean like just off you. I mean, they could just destroy your life, throw you in jail, make sure you never work. Think about the catch-22. Make sure you never work, but you have to work to pay it back the child support. It's slavery. Child support is the modern day way that the Caucasian system uses to enslave men, to make sure that they will always work for the state in some capacity. This is why no matter how violent and murderous the mother is, the family courts keep giving the children to the mother. This is why the mother is able to go back to the court and they're getting thousands of dollars a month, like $6,000, $8,000, $10,000, when $100,000 a month is not enough to take care of a child. All right, like with Blake Griffin, that woman's getting $3 million a year, or $1 million a year for a child. No, that's negligence. That's a woman that don't need the child. Blake Griffin needs to take custody of the child, because it's obviously she. If it takes $1 million for her, she ain't doing something right. But no, child support is slavery. That's why no matter how ugly, mean, and violent the mother is, she will get the child back till she murders it.
And in the meantime, Cherie Stinson remains in jail on no bond, charged with first-degree murder. Relatives tell us she is currently pregnant with a baby girl, and they are vowing to do everything they can to make sure that baby gets a good life. Again, there's just no words. There are just no words about how heartbreaking this story is.
I'm just sick inside over this. The more we hear, the more disturbing it gets.
And from the very beginning, something sounded suspicious. Investigators said there's something up with this, but they wanted to find the child. And now that we have found the child, unfortunately dead, it just, you're right, doesn't get any better.
On this one for sure.
Thanks, Avery.
Well, there you have it. Why child support? Do you know that even when a child goes into foster care, they still put the man on child support? When I was taking in my nieces, the first thing they asked me is, do I want to put the mother and father on child support? And I was like, heel to the knob. Well, not like that, but I politely said no. All right? Because I always thought that this system was just wicked and jacked up. So if I didn't like it when it was done to me, why would I do it to my sister and the girl's father? Just wasn't going to happen. But that's what they asked me to do. That's what they wanted me to do. As a matter of fact, they tried to convince me that I should. Why? It puts the father in prison. The prison courts of child support. It keeps him a slave. But he already was having a hard time. So, again, notice that the woman is pregnant again. Right? So she gets to continue the cycle. That's if this child makes it all the way through, with her knowing that they're going to take this child as quickly, soon as she have it. CPS is going to be in the operating room waiting to take the child because of what she did to the first one. Notice that she killed off a boy. She might have the girl, but she killed off the boy. Find that very, very intriguing, don't you? And what's up with the father? Oh, well, he's doing what he always do. Because there's hundreds of more black women like her that he get to run up, all up and out of. Why? Because he's doing what he's doing. He's slanging dope, drugs. And that's what the black women love these days. They don't like the truth. They don't like the men that offers guidance in the truth. They won't like us because of our color, our height. We ain't even talking about whether we big or not. We talking about just strictly height. Something we can't control. We can control weight. So I can understand you not, oh, wait a minute, because they like big, fat dudes that sell drugs. And like anybody, that's the linchpin in all of this. These women like thugs. These women like men that's engaged in evil. If you don't have that evil aura about you, they don't want you. Period. That's what it is. That's why I just said, F them. They're not worth the effort. All right. That's why I throw this out to sisters to separate. Because anybody that don't feel attractive to you because you're good, that's because they're looking for an evil aura about you and you don't have it. Because that's what they're attracted to, that aura. That's why they gravitate towards thugs and stuff. That's why no matter who you are, what size you are, even if you are a woman pretending to be a man, that if you in the drug game, you could get you the what we would call the finest women out there as far as look. But they're not worth it as far as stank attitude, stank body, and apparently stank way in a way in which they keep their house. They are no good for children. But that's what it is. These women love that evil aura. If you have it, if you've been a pimp, really, they do not like the children of Yah, and they do not like benevolence and good. These women do not like that. That's why I said sisters separate. This woman will always be able to get some D. Right? But here's the thing. This is the kind of woman that nobody is allowed to call out until she does something like this. All right? And then people's like, oh, how sad, this, that, and the other. But just like this GoFundMe I put up about the school, part of that is my fault because I don't know how to do a GoFundMe, and I didn't set up an account, right, for the money to go through because I wanted it to go directly to the school in Brazil. But we might have to set something up over here. But I didn't have a lot of people at first because I was trying to save children. But funny how people donate a lot after somebody dies, after a child dies. Nobody does the little that it takes to save them, but they'll do a lot after they die. Look at the mentality. We don't care about the black woman's behavior while we could do something about making things better for our children and the community. But when something like this, now all of a sudden everybody want to be sad. Nope. I'm like, final thoughts. For the final thoughts, they and their simps could keep hitting that wall of justice. And yes, the children are now going to be collateral damage because there's just nothing we could do about it. Why? Because there are more simps and wicked women. Yes, you're wicked women if you come against people's channel and if you don't line up behind the men calling this stuff out. All right? But if your thing is to get up and try to justify this and argue with the men, yes, the so-called good black women, They're not good, because the first thing they want to do is hate on and argue with the man, because this makes them look bad, and it should, because at its infancy, the black woman never would call this out and say, we ain't with this. Nope, they went and they got them a drug using man like everybody else, because that's what they like. So you got to look at their hearts. All right? You got to look at their hearts. So my final thought for the final thoughts, all of them can keep hitting that wall. And brothers and sisters, we must separate for them so that Most High can judge them. Oh, and guess who's going to judge them? People who are not God. They're judging these with black women. That woman's going before a judge. Black women, I thought only God can judge. No, everybody's judging you behind. That is God's judgment. With that said, I'm out.